How is everybody doing? I'd like to introduce the Brute. This is my attempt at making an Esquire style Telecaster. An Esquire was a single pickup Telecaster back in the 50s. Quite rare, quite expensive now, but every now and then Fender makes various models. You can get a custom shop, you can get the new Esquire for around €400. Nice guitar. You can get the classic series if you're lucky, but they're going up in value. So yeah, this one has kind of a little bit of history behind it. So let's check it out right now. So what you can see here is an ash body. This one is really heavy. It's probably the heaviest guitar that I own, and certainly one of the heaviest I've ever picked up. It's so heavy I don't think you could actually do a gig with it, because it's a backbreaker. Extremely heavy, but there's a beautiful grain on that. Pieces are matched nicely. The body was made in Ireland, in Westport. On the heel pocket it says Westport Guitars. I bought this online. I don't know, I think I got it for like 60 euros. But it's something else. It just weighs so much. Incredible sustain. The fit and finish of the neck pocket was pretty exact. So whoever did it in Westport Guitars, I salute you. So yes, ash will give you that beautiful grain at the cost of extra weight. Something else really. The pickguard on this is just a cutout. It's a sparkle. Now the reason I put that there is because, number one, I was a bit undecided of what colour. I'd like red tortoise shell, but I couldn't find one on eBay that didn't have the that was a single. I prefer single ply scratch plates, to be honest. I mean, this guitar has kind of a 50s vibe, but it also is quite modern looking because of the fingerboard, which has got I reckon 9.5, maybe even flatter. I reckon it's probably about 12. It's a very flat neck, and I'll tell you more about that in a minute. But the pickguard, I guess I could put a clear guard over that. I didn't want to go drilling into the guitar. It actually looks nice without it as well. You know, pure chopping board, pure IKEA. Okay, the bridge, which is the heart of any Telecaster. 3 saddles. It's a Wilkinson. I bought this online from East West Guitars in Dublin. Derry is the guy there. Very helpful, very knowledgeable. This is a top loader, and it also has a string through, which this guitar actually is. Compensated saddles will help with your intonation. Doesn't look as cool as the traditional saddles, but I decided to go for this one because, like I said, it's not a true vintage looking axe. It's kind of mixed. Looks like an Esquire, but realistically it's more of a hot rod. The pickup is a Seymour Duncan quarter pounder. I had that lying around the place. And these are very high output single coil with oversized magnetic slugs. Yeah, they're beautiful. Yeah, that's some pickup. It screams and howls, but yet it's got good tight control over the tone. Yeah, very nice pickup. Not for everybody, but it depends on the guitar you put it into, of course. But it's a monster. Okay, control plate, chrome plated, traditional. It's got the flat tops, and these ones are actually screw-ons. The little screw on the side, which I prefer. I wanted the hardware to come in nickel, but he just didn't have them. It took too long to get them, so I was just lucky to end up with the chrome, to be honest. Oak Grigsby, great switch, it's so positive. Nice click off that, you know where you stand. I'm gonna open up the harness and show you what it actually is underneath. You've got your tone control, your volume, and then you've got the old braided wires, and then you've got 3 caps, 1, 2, 3, and these are oversized, they're massive. They're paper in oil. Yeah, that looks fantastic. East-West, Derry actually builds these things. He'll build anything you want. You can get 3-way, 4-way, 5-way. He also does Strat. Anything you need. Cavities in here are shielded with copper. That's the way it came, which is great. But that's some harness. Yeah, it's incredible. It looks absolutely fantastic. High quality. You know, you're talking easily custom shop quality there. No cost spared. But they're not expensive, you know. I think a harness like this will set you back. Everything will set you back about €70, which is exceptional value for the quality you're getting. Okay, it's got the cheating jack socket. I don't really like these, but I have to admit they're definitely superior, and I hate saying it, to the traditional Tele type insert, because even though they're ugly, they kind of take away from the style. They're pretty solid and they don't give problems, whereas I've often had a Telecaster jack socket loosen out and thump, the whole thing is shat out onto the floor. As Teles do. It's one of the design flaws, and I don't think it's a bad design. It's just that a lot of Teles now, the actual part of the socket that sticks to the walls of the wood is just poor quality metal. That's all it really is. I mean, it has to be a little bit flexible to stick there, but you know, some guitars are really poor, the quality of the metal. So if you could figure out a good anchor, then you're kind of you're winning. But you know, it's a debate. I don't like these, but surely you can come up. There's a 3-screw cup as well out there, which is actually nicer. Maybe I should just go and get a 3-screw cup. Yeah, it's a good idea because they're not expensive. It would look nicer than this. I don't really like this at all, to be honest. These are just generic lugs, or strap buttons, some people call them. I just like the funnel type ones because they're more traditional. I don't use strap locks. They drive me insane with the squeak off the straps and the whole pull out horseshoe system. But again, a guitar like this would probably need them, because if it fell on your toe you're going to be pretty pissed off. But strap locks, for me, I don't really use straps because I'm sitting down all the time now, but strap locks kind of, I don't like them. They're just an unnecessary evil, I suppose, if you have got a expensive guitar. So the fingerboard is rosewood. It's 22 frets and there's a slight overhang. Jumbo frets, quite flat. I had them flattened off in the early 90s, taken down. They look very like some of the Gibson Les Pauls. They're actually very flat and very wide. They must be at least 3 or 4 millimeters wide. That's a big, big, big fret. Very flat neck, like I said, very easy to play on. As you can see here, the mother of pearl inlay markers, I've tried to blacken them out because I think the guitar looks nicer when you can't see any precision markings. I just prefer it like that. I was going to drill them out and put in black ones, but you know, I'm afraid I'll damage the neck. I'm not going to go down that road. This neck has been around for a long, long time. It's a neck off a guitar I bought in 1990, which had Schecter written on it in a small font in gold, and this was black lacquer. And about 2 years ago I started peeling it off, and underneath was actually the original Schecter with a red background. Now got a little bit scratched, so I went over it in paint, red paint again, being very, very careful not to damage the Schecter logo. So it says Schecter trademark. I'm not sure. This looks like a Schecter neck. That definitely is the Schecter font, but God knows. It's a really good neck. It was on a guitar, like I said, I used all through the 90s, and I kind of started dismantling that guitar around 3 or 4 years ago because I just started dismantling it because there was kind of cracks showing in the wood and stuff like that, and it had a Floyd Rose tremolo, which I absolutely hate. But it was my main guitar for a long, long time. Like I said, all through the 90s. I played live gigs with that guitar. It's been on recordings and stuff. But it was nothing special, but it just was a lot. It meant a lot to me at the time. Because I had never bought a Fender back then. And I thought my guitar was the best guitar around. So yeah, so that's the story of the Schecter. And these things are put on there because they, like I said, this neck had a little retainer here. It had this kind of you know, for the Floyd Rose there was these little latches that locked down the strings. Again, horrible stuff. The machine heads are Chinese. These were bought on eBay in mid-February, and they only came 2 days ago, so it took over nearly 4 months for them to come here. They're locking tuners. And I swapped out the tuning heads that were on this because they were Grover's USA, high quality, but they were anodized gold, which just didn't suit the guitar at all, really. I didn't want to buy hardware in gold just in case I'd regret it. Like I said, I wanted nickel. These are actually quite good. Now the only problem with them was that I had to drill 6 little holes. You know, they're kind of like Japanese Goto in setup. I wish they had the spurs on them because they would have fitted back into the holes, but they didn't. They're actually quite good. They're managing to keep the guitar in tune. I don't know why I decided to get locking tuners. I think because they were so cheap. These were, I think they were something like €10. They're die cast with little gears inside and brass pins going through them. They do work well, and you know, there's no name on them, but I've seen similar types for sale in England that are also Chinese, and they're coming in at £30–35. So there's nothing wrong with these. The gears work fine in them. I don't know how long they would last. I mean, they're very, very, very cheap. But for this guitar, I just decided to go down this route. I just wanted. I don't own locking tuners. I just wanted to buy some and see what they were like. So I think it suits this one. You know, I just like the wheels on the back of them. Neck has no skunk stripe on it, obviously. This is a 4-bolt clamp, and it says Schecter. There's a serial number here. So the back of the guitar, again, beautiful grain here. It's almost like clouds or the sun radiating from the ocean. Beautiful. I often wondered what it would be like if I had a kind of a teal stain going through it. Don't get me started, because I'm not really a big fan of natural finishes. But this looks quite cool. You know, the back, it's just, you know, pure Telecaster. You can see the ferrules here. They're not 100% accurate. They seem to be out a bit. Yeah, there's definitely a bigger gap between these two. So they're probably drilled by hand. Right, so let's get going. This is the position 1. It's the bridge without any tone on it. So tone doesn't make a difference. Nice whine off that. So position 2, you've got tone in the circuit at this stage. Very woolly. Great for rhythm. What I normally tend to do is you've got your lead like this, sharp, and then with the tone control I'd probably roll it back a little bit, maybe 75%. Okay, so position number 3 is just this. So it's very dead. That's where your neck would have been on a normal telly. There you go. Let's try it with a little bit of overdrive. With the Maxon Super Metal. Still love that pedal for all its evil. And this is the middle position. said, the non-existent position, and it's not affected by the tone either. So it's nice for stuff like I'm using 9s. I had a set of 9s that were just barely used. I hate 9s, but I have to admit that they're so slinky. This guitar is only just finished, so I wanted to test it out, but there'll be 10s going on it. And yeah, that's it really. Until next time, take care, thanks for watching, and feel free to subscribe. And if you don't, the brute is going to get you.